am curious, and we're going to pick up right where we left off during that break, because I like doing this. I like the viewers wondering, what's going on behind the scenes. Because, here you're really in the loop and you're in the mix. So you have an engineering degree. What kind of engineering?
Dave didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I think that was like something everyone was making fun of me for, and like
making fun of you for being.
Well, it's just like funny, kind of. I went through all that, and here I am playing Smite. Not that I'm not grateful, of course.
Of course. What kind of engineering degree do you have?
Mechanical engineering.
What would that translate into the job market? What would you be doing?
I would be working for a car company or an airplane or engine company.
You'd be the one zapping all the stuff. Like instead of the machines doing all the welding, you'd replace a machine and be.
I would be on a computer
telling the machines what to do,
or designing like in a 3D programming.
Gotcha.
Sort of software, probably.
And instead, it feels like you're engineering victories for the Highland Ravens. Isn't that right?
Oh, so clever.
We're in it.
Gotta love him.
We're in the support role queue here. Same guys we had for the tier list. Got Genetics, Jake, Ronngyu, and Engineer, Hurriwind. Welcome in, fellas. I want to start off because we're kind of zooming here on this one. I got about a billion things written down here. I know. I'm sorry, and I'm wandering through. I want to know what everyone's support story is. What is your support story getting into the support role? How did you start playing Smite, and how did you find your way into support? Ronngyu, I'll start with you.
I discovered Smite because UTFAT. It was literally spamming every day. So I was like, I'm going to download it. I think it was like the beta. I played it. I didn't like it at all. And then I came back when the game was already launched. And then I was main solo. And then my friends were like making a team, right? And they had a solo already. So they were like, okay, and we need a support. I was like, I don't like support. But then my like close friend was like ADC. He was like, okay, I can teach you support. And that's my story.
And you've been playing support ever since. So many of this, I'm yet to hear one of the stories on one of these roundtables where someone chose to play. It's always been, I joined a team and this role, like we didn't have anyone to play this role. I wanted to play this, but we didn't have this. And that's consistent for jungle, mid, ADC. Everyone got put into a role when the team was already filled. How about you, Hurriwind?
Yeah, I started playing solo as well originally, but I was new and I was really clueless, and I just liked I played Assault a lot, and the mages were good there, so I learned how to play mages through Assault. So I ended up just playing mid, but obviously I'm not playing mid now. So I played mid for a long time. The role kind of changed in a way that I wasn't particularly great at. It became way more farm-oriented and way more just like, I don't know, selfish is probably the wrong word, but that's what I would use because that wasn't my playstyle. I like to rotate a lot, which you can still do, but a lot of players don't do now. And I was a really communicative mid laner, and I felt like I wanted to play a leadership role, and I think that plays better in a roam role. And some people told me to try support, and I tried support, and then that's where I am now. Wasn't my original. It certainly wasn't my original plan to be a support.
You're a giver, Hurriwind, and you needed a role that.
That's what they say.
That's right.
That's what they all say.
Is that what everyone says?
Every single person.
I hear the rumblings, but I wasn't sure.
Not
now
my
I am
ranked
confident.
teammates, maybe, but everybody else.
Yeah, but we're not worried about our ranked teammates. Jake, what's your support story?
So I kind of like support and I kind of wanted to play it, but I was a solo laner, so
everybody was solo.
Yeah, so came over from solo and just had a lot of fun playing support and ranked. Like you can just run around the map, do whatever you want. You can kind of play like back in the old seasons. I feel like you could just like play whatever god you wanted, and you could make it work. And yeah, I just thought it was the funnest role, and it was pretty impactful because like you're a roamer, so you can just kind of like own.
You mean W key.
Yeah.
Genetics, did you start playing solo lane and then?
I didn't know actually. No, I had like a guy that I played Smite with when I was very young in season 1, 2. And he got really good at the game and started playing SCC in like season 3 or 4. And the only role I could play in ranked to keep up with him was support. And then eventually he stopped playing and I kept playing, and then I just kept playing support.
Does he see what you've become now? Are you in touch with this?
I keep in touch occasionally. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He knows you're above him now, so hard to find time.
You look at the game on a totally different level now. It'd almost be difficult to communicate, I imagine. Yeah. Look, we've had a variety of metas in Smite's past, needless to say. We can do this as a group if we want. Are there any best and worst metas? I would say through the lens of support, since it's a support roundtable. I know that we've had different amounts of times in support, but is there a agreed upon best support meta in Smite history?
The invade meta was pretty cringe.
Was that season 6?
Season 4, 5, 6.
6 was the worst for sure, though.
Yeah, I don't think
They
that's
were
the
at the
best.
speed at level 1.
Oh yeah,
With
Yeah,
Hercules.
probably the worst.
Before he was nerfed and he had like so much power level 1.
very
Yeah.
the worst meta in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I would figure supports would
I'm
like
glad. I'm
invading.
glad
Mike
is not
liked
here.
invading,
I'm glad Mike
yeah.
is not here.
I think
be yelling
Aurora
at you
liked
guys.
it too. And Neil,
Yeah.
I think, liked it as well, maybe.
What do you guys not like about invading? Or is it that you could only invade? Oh, that was the meta.
He just like decides the game so early.
Yeah, I wasn't a support player personally, so I obviously hated it because I felt like I was just like watched,
Right.
and it had such a big impact on the game like right away. But I just feel like too much of the game is decided early on, and it also really like pigeonholed what you were allowed to play.
Also, when I qualified for the World, when I was in SEC, in SEC nobody invade, and we qualified for Worlds. We were like, okay, we might do this, and then Mike invade us, and I was like, wow, I think I should invade then.
Right.
And then I picked Hercules. I bought my boots, and I was just doing like kind of well, and I never invaded in my life. So I was like, this meta is so useless. Like,
Right.
what is even the point?
You had to learn to invade
Yeah.
on the world stage, I guess.
Literally.
Is there a best support meta? We're not liking the invade.
Whenever you're like not invading, I guess. Like,
What about right now?
I like
What
when
about season
when
10?
the play is like active, you know.
I think
Like right
last-
now it's not very
I
active.
think last season
Last season.
was the best, probably.
Maybe in season 8 was good as well. Like season 8, season 9 were perfect for me. I kind of like the mixture of Scepter and Cups. Kind of gave you like optional map play, but it rewarded you for macro map play and being on time and sacrificing farm for overall team wide map like XP and gold.
What do you think makes a good meta? Just the ability to be active? Does certain god viability matter to you guys more? Item viability?
Options.
yeah, just
Or all of it.
options.
Options are important, I think. Like not only in gods, but in like Genetics is saying, like you have options on like where to play the map. Like right now, for example, you can kind of just like camp duo, and it can't necessarily go wrong. Like if I had the option to like go and do something in solo without feeling like I'm giving too much up, or like play it through mid for like a mid objective or something, then I feel like the game would feel a lot more fun to play.
I have made the statement before that if a gold support just sat in dual lane, I could not diff them in a ring game.
That's true.
Well, I did hear you say that. I hope that's not true.
Surely you can just like
Nope.
just can't do it.
Nope. Can't.
And you know what? That's
We'll
just
leave
how,
it at
That's
that.
just how good gold players are, right?
True.
The thing is,
way
like,
better than they used to.
thing is, everyone's gonna be
I swear
biased,
they
right?
are.
Because when everyone's like, I mean, Ronnie will probably say like towards season 8 when he won Worlds. I'll say last year when he won Worlds, and Jake's obviously demolishing
Yeah.
this
Right
year.
now.
So I think everyone's gonna be biased towards when they were winning and when they were the best support
Yeah.
at the time. So
Well, right now, mage supports are all the rage for some of the players in the league, right? Do we love a mage support meta? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really really good guys, right? Like,
not me.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Healer's got to go, right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but it's not my
all
favorite.
right, all right. So if you imagine we nerf the mages, we're just gonna go back to Terra Umoja. Like you guys want another 3 years of that? Another 3 years.
I want Maui.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I mean, Jake kind of has a point. I think like some of the more like traditional guardians could use some help.
Yeah, like
The Atlas and the Athena and
the
stuff like
Sobex,
that,
the
I think from the
Bacchuses,
competitive
the
side.
Kumbhakarnas.
Sobex, yeah.
No, nerf Kumba.
Aurora wants Kumba
Ganesha.
desperately. I'm a big Ganesh guy. Have you heard the stories of the Dulcin Ganesh?
I don't know.
I'm not allowed to play in internal play tests anymore.
Does our timer have time for the Dulcin Ganesh?
No, we got 10 minutes, and that's at least a 15-minute story. So
Save it for another time.
we'll save it for another
Golf
time.
course.
Yeah, and for the love of or the point of moving through, let's talk a bit about ranked as a support player, if we can. Are there any specific pet peeves that come to mind, whether it's duo lane, any other role? I know mid laners talk a lot about you guys sitting in mid, or maybe supports in general, not you four specifically, but sitting in mid and just soaking up that farm. Are there any support-specific pet peeves that come to mind? It could be amongst your teams in the SPL or through the lens of ranked play.
Yeah, like when you're playing support, it's like someone tells you not to split with them. Like that's probably like the biggest pet peeve.
Someone tells you not to split, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I told Jake not to do that when I was playing mid on his team.
I say that as well to Jake.
There's an issue here, Jake. Do
A
you
little
split
bit.
too much?
I mean, I do split a lot of farm, but it's farm that's going to a good place. All right.
That's true. That's always your argument, right?
Yeah.
I don't like when I go out of my way to like say something, and I'm not. I mean, they might disagree, but I'm not trying to be like disrespectful or whatever. But I like tell someone like, I need you to come here now. I need you to do this, or like, like instead of engaging like that, just play with the team, and they just don't care and they just do their own thing or whatever. Maybe it's like my like SPL player ego, but I feel like I'm telling them what they have to do to win, and they just don't care, And so I'm like putting in the extra effort to like win the game, and they just don't care. Which you should expect probably in a ranked game, but frustrates me for sure.
Surely your name popping up has got to carry a little extra weight.
I think it's the opposite, actually.
Really?
In the high rank games, there's like a lot of like SEC players or like people that play ranked that are like really good, like just ranked players who might not be on teams, and they just like have kind of like they might have a pro or two that they like, but most pros they're just like, I'm not listening to that guy.
Everyone likes you, Hurriwind. Yeah. Everyone listens to you.
Take the pull in the rank scene. We'll see.
That's right. All right. We're going to move on. Okay, no. We're not moving on from ranked yet. I asked AI to send a couple messages. I asked AI to tell me what are some good messages I could send a lobby right when I load into a ranked lobby.
Oh.
And I want you guys to predict, maybe not exact KDA, but do you think I'm feeding, I'm going even, or I'm carrying that game based on what AI tells me I should welcome in the lobby with? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, period. That's my message. Am I feeding, even, or carrying that game?
Feeding.
I mean, that could be like a Smurf message name,
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe even.
Okay.
Feeding.
Anyone think I'm carrying?
The more they type, typically, the more they
the
are.
worse they are.
Yeah.
You think regardless of what they say?
Pretty much, yeah. Unless it's like, yeah, pretty much exclusively.
So I
Probably a
imagine-
fan of someone if they're typing.
Right.
Just want to be a nice guy.
Right, of course. So I imagine good luck and have fun, everyone, which is suggestion number 2 from AI, also is not a really good indicator.
I'm dodging.
Unless it's BGS.
You're right, in VGS. I load into the ranked lobby, and AI tells me that I should say, any preferred roles or gods? I'm flexible and can fill. That's pretty understandable,
That's fine,
though, right?
That's fine, actually.
It's kind of funny, though.
Is that even or carrying, you think?
Maybe he's just a team
That's
player.
Team play, it's an even.
Even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're all about even. The last one I thought was ridiculous. Communication is key, so let's work together and secure the win, is what AI said that I should say when I load into a ranked lobby.
You're dodging. You're F6ing at 10.
That's also the guy that's like freaking out when the game is going poorly.
Right.
That guy is like, every game today is the same. Everyone's just terrible.
Well, he watched one video on good, positive self-talk, right, and realizes that every
tune changes fast.
that's right, he's not a master of it yet, but he's working on it. All right, so I think the more you type, the worse we assume I'm going to do in a lobby. If there was one support item that you could have in real life, what would it be? Passive and all. We have not determined yet on any of these roundtables what killing and stacking items.
Probably just Stone Gaia.
Yeah.
Regenning, like Wolverine.
Get in a lot of fights, Jake.
No, but I could
You
start.
build Shoguns, you'd be great in a gang.
Yeah? Like the classic ones, you roll around snapping your fingers at people?
Yeah, I mean, they would be firing off. That's what I'll say. All cylinders.
All right, Shoguns, Gaia, Regrowth.
Contagion for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Contagion.
Someone hits me, I infect them.
Okay, we like that. Do you have any support items?
They were bad. I don't know.
None of them are good.
Maybe
I would think any of the gold
Okay,
spooling items
I'll,
would be
I'll
good.
pick Winged and go twice.
Okay.
If I had cannoneers, am I making someone explode when I hit them?
Yes.
Okay, it's on the table.
Do you want it or not want it?
It's on the table.
Or what about this?
They explode into money.
Sentinel's Gift, and then you go to like a chicken factory, and you just sit outside, and you just rack up all these assists, and you get all this gold.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
The sports just got to have the best answers on that.
I think they do because it is a lot of, it's like gold spooling, assisting. A lot of the other roles, it's like kill stacking items where like, how do you get those,
What does it do more? What does that even mean? Found in an Aztec temple or
an orb of
something.
doom,
It's
mate.
cursed.
You'd be a good soldier, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about outside of that. All right, we only have 5 minutes left. I'm sad about that, but I'll let you guys choose. Do we want to go to the silly would you rather questions, or do you want me to ask you the questions that AI told me to ask you?
We could get silly.
All right, let's get silly. Would you rather be an average person in the current day and age or a king 2,500 years ago?
The king.
Depends on how much power you want, you know.
Well, 25
games.
years ago, mate. You've got a lot of.
You got no games.
Yeah,
Yeah, the game is your kingdom.
yeah,
I guess.
It's a Game of Thrones, if you will.
yeah. We don't want to go
Yeah,
back
I
in
mean-
time unless I'm
I
a
mean,
king.
It probably, like Game of Thrones, it sounds like pretty awful, really.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if quality of life is even worth being a king 2,500 years ago.
Yeah, that's the
Like, if
issue.
I get a cold, I might be done for, you know?
You wouldn't be cold.
But you're a king, though.
You wouldn't
But
be
I'm a
cold.
king, right?
Wait, so
I'm above all the peasants.
2,500? Like,
Yeah, so
Do
what?
we have the same ailments?
Wait, we're like-
as we
we're like
do
in
now?
BC?
'Cause some of us wouldn't
Oh shit!
survive.
Actually, yeah, this could be a problem for me.
there's like lepers running around still.
I would assume, yeah. What? Like literally, you're in medieval times England. Whatever was happening back then.
I've changed my answer. I'd rather be right here.
You'd rather be right here, right now. I don't know if there's a. See, being a king sounds great. I'd love to sit and feast, but what do? You have the
Yeah.
ball on a string, and you can get into a
Go
cup.
to war, I
You need to
guess.
think. You need to think. You need to zoom out a little
Sounds
bit.
awesome, yeah.
War, building a kingdom.
Yep.
Building, family line. You can build a lot of stuff.
That's true. It's a lot about building and creating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of stuff to do in your downtime.
and the empire.
Yep, good thinking. All right, good. We've only got a couple minutes. Would you rather have the only mode of transport being a donkey or a giraffe?
Donkey.
Way more people will be looking at you if you rode a giraffe around.
Is that a good
Yeah,
thing?
how
or
you
bad?
get up on it should be a pain.
What's faster?
True.
You'd also die if you
Yeah,
fell
definitely a
off
donkey.
maybe.
Imagine a
Yeah.
donkey can run faster, but giraffes run.
You can make a lot of money off a giraffe,
I
though.
think a giraffe's runs faster.
Yeah, probably.
Probably a bit
The,
bumpy.
the,
So
the legs are way
dangerous.
longer.
Dangerous,
You
yeah.
gotta get a good giraffe saddle, you know.
Do a donkey.
That's true. They make
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure they would. Yeah, I'm sure they would engineer something to make it.
I don't
safe.
know.
You could engineer something to make it safe because you're an
Yeah,
engineer.
good for the right price.
Where do you think a giraffe wears its necktie? Up beneath its chin or down around its?
Down.
Obviously,
down.
Obviously.
If it ever got loose,
That's-
it'd slide all the way
yeah,
off.
That's right. That's too far.
That's just silly.
That's way too
What
far.
do you mean?
That's just silly.
You have to keep that kind of stuff in consideration. It's all part of the
That's
process.
why you're an engineer. It's because you think about all these things. I'm not going to let anyone forget this, by the way. Now that I've learned this
This is what I was saying earlier.
right. Well, everyone else already
Catching
knows,
on.
and I don't. And I don't. All right, one more of these questions, and then one final question. We can round things out here. Would you rather dance all day until you get a 10 on Dancing with the Stars, the TV, the dancing competition show, or eat only mashed potatoes until you get a 10 on a chef cooking competition?
I don't understand that question.
You dance all day to
You're saying like you get better?
maybe.
You would definitely get better with both, but
Right, you spend all your time cooking and training, but you can only eat mashed potatoes. I guess the question is, do you think you would get a 10 faster on Dancing with the Stars or a 10 faster on a cooking show?
Also, what's cooler, like being a good cook or being a good dancer?
I'll go dancing route.
I'll go cooking.
I'll go dancing. Like I feel like
Cooking is
you
just
bust all your
Tiebreaker.
instructions.
Maybe no, not tiebreaker.
Time maker.
Time
Can
maker.
you dance, Tyler?
Yeah.
You should also
Can
just
you
never-
actually dance?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I believe it. Oh, that
Oh.
was smooth.
That was
practice.
well designed.
All right, fellas. I'm sorry. We had to speed run this one. You can thank your SPL counterparts for having a tiebreaker match today.
Hate those guys.
Final question. What is the best role in Smite right now as we close things out? 3, 2, 1.
Jungle.
Or thanks for watching the roll queue.
Solo.
To
Jungle.
Genetics,
Oh,
Jake,
it's all-
Hurriwind,
yeah.
and Ronngyu. Stick around. We got more, I think, tiebreakers coming up next.